This is Citizen Jones Hussein sitting in. Of course, it's another 60 minutes. We call it Journalists Hangout. You say number one on TV, so be it. Now, on the program today, Governor El-Rufai insists President Buhari endorsed Buni's removal as APC Caretaker Chairman, says 19 governors supported move, just as Governor Bello inaugurates National Convention Committee, shuts out Buni, Akpan Odoide, and Fani Kayode from list. Again, Minister says Nigeria now has 1.9 billion liters of petrol to ease fuel scarcity. And later on, we'll share this with you. Hope dims for end to ASUU strike, just as federal government insists UTAS is no better alternative to IPPIS. I'm hanging out with Olabisi Deji-Folutile. I greet you, ma'am.
Good evening.
And there's also Paul Dada here. Paul, I greet you.
Good evening. It's always good to be
Paul,
here.
the women say they want to break the bias.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, let them break it.
Okay. Good luck to them. All right, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, to our first story. According to political theorists, one of the major problems, of course there are many of them, with governing people is that of whom you get to do it or who manages to get people to let them do it to them, if you understand what I mean. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has let all the dogs out in a manner of speaking. With 16 days to go to its national convention, an unexpected change of guards took place, rocking the foundations of the party. Today, we can confirm that Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State insists President Muhammadu Buhari instructed Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State to take over APC leadership. Again, 19 other governors endorsed it. Paul, you are not surprised, or are you?
I'm not surprised. It was going to happen. There had to be some form of sanity. APC had become a kind of rudderless boat. And I said to myself that it's only APC that can defeat APC. Because if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, we only have one opposition party that has not, that some people believe that it's actually the personal property of the man that holds sway in Rivers State. It's a party that has not got...
Debatable. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, debatable, of course. But we all know that it's not a... for now, it's not... Anything can happen, but it's not positioning itself yet as a formidable opposition party who is ready to take over from the APC. The other parties that we have are seasonal parties. They wake up election time and then they go to sleep. Now,
is that charitable?
Well, but that's the reality. I have to be blunt.
Okay, it's all right.
Okay. Now, well, you see, the truth of the matter is that Buni was having it all good, okay, until for some reason, inexplicable reason, it appeared some people had another agenda. I don't know if Buni was part of those orchestrated agenda or was a victim, as Governor Nasir El-Rufai described him. According to Governor El-Rufai, he said the president clearly gave 3 directives. One of the directives was that, okay, that they should go ahead and inaugurate the state executive chairman. Yeah, exactly. And then they should give notice for National Executive Council to meet. And then none of that happened. And then they got wind that there was a backdoor
arrangement.
That's an ex parte order that had been given, and nobody knew about it. So it was inevitable that they had to do something. However, all of these things that have been done, there's still something. The National Executive Council, the committee of the party, has to ratify it, because Buni was chosen by the neck
of the party.
Yeah, but from what we see, 19 governors are behind the man in Niger. And and it appears that well, it will be ratified and the party will be saved.
Add the man in Niger to the list. Say 20 governors.
Okay, 20 governors. Yes. So it's very good that they are doing this. Otherwise, they will APC will just burn itself. Oof. And to keep that party from burning itself, some measure of decorum and sanity has to be brought in.
Yeah. Bisi, you know, I said in my opening bit, the dogs are out. All the dogs are out. So, but you know, Winston Churchill said, in politics, you are killed once. In war, you are killed many times.
Wow.
No, sorry, in politics, you are killed many times.
Many times in war.
In a war, you are killed once.
Wow. Well, I'm not sure this is the end of the whole thing.
Well, as the Americans say, we ain't seen nothing yet.
I don't think so, because I don't see the Buni camp also keeping it cool. Already, I heard something about them trying to go to court to challenge what is happening right now. And if that happens, it's going to also complicate issues for the APC. And unfortunately, this is going to continue to take a toll on governance.
Yeah.
Because for some time now, I don't think we have really, the people in power have really faced governance as they should because of party politics. As a matter of fact, I remember Governor Buni more for what he does for APC than what he does for his states.
Yeah.
And you just wonder what kind of politics are we?
Yeah, but that is choice. He made a choice.
He made a choice which shouldn't be, because he wasn't elected to work for APC. He was elected as a governor to work for Yobe State.
Bisi, except that you are crying more than the brave.
Well, because I'm a Nigerian
and a reporter,
and I just say what should be, you know.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that there is no way these things don't have impact on governance, even at the national level. And I'm just imagining that APC, it would have been better if the leadership of APC is not standing aloof. But I think the leadership, I don't want to mention who the leadership is, has been standing aloof. And that has probably affected the decay in that party up to this point. Because I do not believe that an individual should be very powerful as to hold the destiny of a party in its hands so strongly as we have been seeing all of this time, and I don't think that is right.
Paul, are you surprised that in this melee, in the mix-up, the secretary to the Buni board, Senator Akpan Odoide, is saying, I have not resigned though.
But what?
I'm still a bona fide member of the executive.
Well, by the time the NEC ratifies the decision of the governors and the CECPC as constituted now, I probably will be saying another thing. But I can't rule out what BC said about somebody somewhere going to court, because we have seen that happen. You know, the convention is coming up on March 26th. It's even possible for somebody to go and get
16 days.
Get 16 days, get some kind of court injunction in the night of 25th. We've seen that kind of thing happen before. But I think, you know, there's something that Governor El-Rufai said, which I think that if they pursue it, it will be very fine. Reconciliation. It's also possible to go to the person or persons that initiated that court proceeding, you know, and say, please, why don't you just withdraw the substantive suit? You know, it's possible to because at this time you don't need what do you call it? You don't need war. It's Jojo, you know, going to see, if this convention does not hold on March 26th, it's not likely to hold anytime soon, because Ramadan starts the next day.
Yeah.
And Ramadan is going to be, they're going to lose probably a month, you know, before they start talking about,
that's it.
What's it called now? The convention again. So it is in the interest of everybody. People must just learn to...
Paul, but are you shocked? Don't you remember a Senate president in this country danced the previous day and the next day he was off? So anything is possible in Nigeria.
I agree. That is absolutely. I agree with that. Lots of theatrics, lots of drama, you know, ridiculous injunctions and all sorts. We have seen all of this happen. This is Nigeria, where you have the theater of the absurd. You know, but what I'm trying to say is that it is in the interest of everybody in the APC. Everybody in the APC, no matter which camp or faction you belong to, is in it. No, I'm saying, you see, winning the president, I mean, winning elections is serious business. That's why I said APC can defeat itself. Even if it is true that no other party can defeat, if it is true that no other party can defeat it. Now, APC can defeat itself, burn itself. So that is why all of the interests have to come together. You have to subject your personal, your selfish interest to that of the party. What is the interest of the party? To continue in power. I believe that is the... I'm sure APC doesn't want to lose any state. Rather, APC want to gain more states. I'm sure APC doesn't want to lose Senate seats and all of those seats, even the presidency. So if that is the interest of the party, I mean, if that is what everybody in the party wants, why not just drop your interest, you know, or do some negotiations,
play ball,
exactly.
Allow the show to go on.
Exactly.
Because when the dogs are on the street, there's wahala. You know, actually,
APC, I wouldn't blame APC. You know how many parties came together to form APC? I think about 7.
Four when I counted last.
4. Okay. Now, all of them have their different interests. You counted 4, but there are also individuals that form
this is not to play down the carpet crossing and all that.
So what I'm trying to say is that all of them have different interests, and that is normal in politics. But I guess what happened is that they did not align their interest in the interest of the or they did not look at the big picture. Everybody is busy pursuing personal interest, and that is
natural.
That is actually the problem here, and that is why it seems as if the party has been in crisis almost in the last.
A political theorist said once, "Never underestimate the power of human stupidity." Paul, you have heard a statement from Napoleon Bonaparte. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. But let me take a call. Fidel is reaching us from Owerri. Fidel, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. I want to say that this is a very wrong time for APC and its leadership to think of removing the chairman of the caretaker committee and other people who suffered, to make sure that the party remains stable. This APC is faced with so many crises to the extent that what it requires now is just anything that will make the people have internal democracy, have confidence in the leadership of the party, manage and have a convention that will be acceptable to everybody. Anything short of this will mean doom for the party. All I'm trying to say is that from what is happening in APC, and considering the problems it had passed through, what it requires now is bringing people together, making sure you maintain...
all right, Fidel, many thanks. You know, it's only natural, Paul. Fidel, perhaps, who knows, might be an APC apologist or supporter. It is his right.
It is his right to hold his view, but I actually disagree with him. Because if you work for the party, and then you are now seen to be working against the party with a few governors. I saw a statement credited to Governor El-Rufai. He described those governors, I mean, I'm using his words, as Yahoo governors.
Those governors who on
the other side, he described them as Yahoo governors. The majority of don't forget something, governors are very powerful. I don't think even Buni will want to swim against the tide for so long. He is a governor. He is one of them. He is in the Progressive Governors Forum. Yeah. If he does the initial gra-gra, I think he is going to definitely play ball later. He is their friend. He's their friend. He's been together with them. So he needs the party. He needs the party.
And the party at this point needs him.
Well, the party needs everybody. But if somebody is working against the interests of the party, you see, no individual should be greater than a party. That is the rule. No individual should be greater than the party, just as nobody should be greater than Nigeria. Yeah. So you can't be working against the interest of the majority of your colleagues and then you expect them to just keep quiet. Suddenly they discovered a court injunction which they were not aware of, which you allegedly was aware. Your lawyers were aware of it. and you said nothing. The man said nothing to the party. They did not know. In fact, they heard the rumor. They had to go through some channels to get the copy of that ruling.
Ruling, yeah.
And then you expect them to keep quiet. And then not to remove him. No, what do you expect?
Basically, at a time like this, you are looking at the women's folk in APC. You think they can't bring a little twist to the tail?
Well, not now. I don't think so.
Not for the moment.
I don't at the moment, because it's not something that they.
So
can
all this talk about you people breaking the bias, now just free talk.
No, be saying a free talk.
Yeah.
Just that it's a process, and I don't think that process has matured enough for them to actually do something that is different from what is going on right now.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that they have the number to also get that done. You see, I don't think they have enough supporters in our men in the party to actually get that done. Otherwise, the women could have just...
Even women are not supporting women. That's the truth.
You know, why I said women is because they say the thing begins from what they call pillow talk. When Oga and Madam, they for pillow.
Yeah, but there are many pillows in this case now.
Okay.
And when you have many pillows and the talks are many, it can even cause another level of confusion.
Oh boy.
So I think we should even remove the pillow talks from this crisis so that we don't complicate the matters. But talking about women not supporting themselves, do all men support themselves too?
No. You know what?
If you ask Paul,
I'll give an example. I'll give you a very good example. There was a Sarah Jubril in this country who was contesting for the presidential primary of PDP. I think she had only 1 vote.
Yeah,
she voted herself.
She voted.
Where were the women?
Oh, you expected her not to have voted for herself?
But she ought to have campaigned now.
Yeah.
No, she did campaign.
No, you campaigned, I campaign, and I choose who I want to choose.
The truth of the matter is that
women are not quite ready.
Yeah, I don't
politics. You're exactly right.
I don't think they are.
And the Nigerian woman are two different bedfellows, strange bedfellows. Oh, Benga is joining us from Abuja. Benga, sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
The gentleman there and the lady. All that is happening in recent times, especially about this court injunction, looks surprising and strange to me, even though we have not heard from Buni. And I'm surprised that it is when Buni is not available to really tell us his own story that all this is happening. I begin to imagine, when you get an injunction against a party, you don't serve it to an individual. They will serve it to a secretariat. A secretariat has a legal department, he has a secretary, and there are 3 governors. I mean, Governor Oyetola and another governor from the Niger State governor, the person acting chairman. They run this committee, whatever they call it. And they say they don't have knowledge of that injunction since November. And it's hard for me to believe that it is when Buni is not around that all this happening. Because if you look at the way
Benga, you know, you are 1/10 as befuddled as we are here, you know. Paul, you understand, they did it surreptitiously because the man is not in town. But if the man was in town and the #1 citizen had said, let the other man carry on the show, would it have changed anything?
No, actually, the man himself handed over to Governor Sani. He handed over to him. Now, Governor Sani came up and said, let us implement the directives of
Mr.
President. He told the secretary. Secretary said, no. The secretary said, no. So the governors now went to the president and said, look, this is what is happening. President said, okay, let Governor Sani remain the chairman. So, you see, nobody is going to, that's impunity. That's recklessness. Now, if a court order was obtained, it must have been served on the, like the caller said, on the secretariat. It means probably some people received it and kept quiet about it.
Well, how could such a thing have come to the secretariat?
This is Nigeria. Anything can happen. You know, politicians
as it did in Ebonyi State.
Exactly. Politicians are politicians. You know, they have all the. You know, see, you may be a very plain-minded person. You know, but politicians are very deep. The Bible was describing politicians when it said the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? You understand?
Yeah. Madam, but the party had inaugurated the subcommittees. You know, we are talking about zoning and all that. So, what's the place of that inauguration now? Well,
it will. You can see that even in the constitution of the committee now, the last one that the governor of Niger State presided over, Buni, Fani Kayode, and yeah, were removed. They were not part of it. So, which means that interest. Yeah. We are seeing different kinds of interest.
But at this point, you are wondering if a man's interest will be bigger than APC's interest.
Well,
surprisingly,
and it's also interesting that the Buni that was such a powerful man yesterday has suddenly become a penny stock today, and so it shows you that an individual cannot be bigger.
Good, and power is transient.
Exactly.
It's transient.
Yeah.
And again, democracy is not just the right to vote, it includes the right of all three of us here to live in a free and
absolutely
Wahala-free country. Okay? So, we'll go to our next story. You know, a major energy crisis is crippling the commercial capital of Nigeria, that's Lagos, and the country's capital city, Abuja. At a time like this also, hope, like rationality, becomes contagious, you know. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Sylva, said the country now has 1.9 billion liters of petrol in stock. This should last another 32 days. He was addressing the Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by Mr. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo. He was accompanied by the Group General Manager of the NNPC, Mele Kyari. Some reports say queues at petrol stations are easing up somewhat. Is this enough, BC?
I don't think so. I still bought fuel for 190 naira per liter yesterday. And I realized that...
No, you paid.
I didn't pay. That was the amount on the machine.
But the petrol pumps have not been calibrated.
No, the pump price...
You saw it.
On the machine is 190 naira. It's not as if anybody telling you. It's not as if anybody telling you that you are going to pay 190. It is stated there 190, and that was the only station that there were no queues. So for those who still sell, for those who sell at the normal price, the queue was as long as anything. So when you see a station that has lots of queue, you can be sure that
it tells you going normal is abnormal.
It's abnormal, yeah. Ooh. Interestingly, the station that sold for 190 yesterday, I think 3 days ago, when they first came out to say that they were going to punish anyone that sells above the pump price, the station quickly put 165 naira on its. But 2 days after, 48 hours after, having seen that nothing is happening, that is all talk, it reverted back to 190 naira. So I'm not sure the queues are going.
They are not easing up somewhat.
Somehow.
So the 1.9 billion liters.
We are still waiting to see the impacts.
Okay. All right. While we are waiting, we can't wait to go on a commercial break. We'll be back. Please stay. Of course, we are still discussing the announcement of Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Sylva. He says, as we speak, 1.9 billion liters of petrol is available, and that should last us another 32 days. Paul, this is a country that by election is living dangerously.
You see, why should I celebrate? Because the minister said, okay, 1.9 billion litres of petrol had arrived or something. Why should I celebrate? You know, I would just be like these children that normally scream up NEPA when power has been out for 2 days, and then you now have power just comes on suddenly, maybe 2 hours, everybody's up NEPA. You know, if people are feeling up NEPA'd by this, I'm not impressed.
Paul, if NEPA gave you light 1 month unbroken, won't you be suspicious?
Well, I will. In fact, I had that feeling. There was a time we just kept having power.
Yeah. And
I was wondering, I was wondering, what's happening? This is strange.
Something has
this is strange. What has happened?
Gone bad.
You know, it's not, number one, when I was coming, I still saw fuel stations,
and
closed. Closed. Okay, maybe in a few days' time, we're going to have this. But at this stage of our life in this country, we should not be talking about this. You know, when during break, you were talking about, when we went on break, you were talking about turnaround maintenance for refineries. Turnaround maintenance that has not been able to turn around the refineries.
Paul, but have you heard the news that workers of the 4 disabled refineries are still being paid?
They are still being, this is a country where people are being paid for doing nothing. But it's not the fault of the workers. It's not the fault of the workers. I mean, if I were, I wouldn't resign if I were a staff of any of the refineries.
Okay.
Will I just resign?
And you'll be collecting the salary?
Well, I'm still a staff. I'm still a worker.
No compunction?
Is it my fault that the refineries are not working? That's the question. Is it my fault that the refineries are not working?
Also, people seem to play down the deposit of gas we have in this country. Yet we are flaring gas.
Yeah, we are flaring gas, and that has been happening for more than...
They say since Adam, they
exactly. I do and you just wonder, how can this continue for so long without us being able to do something about it? We talk about it all the time. In fact, since I've been a journalist, I've been on editorial boards of newspapers. In fact, we write on gas flaring. We do all of these things for years, and they are still flaring the gas. And I don't know when it will stop.
And cooking gas is
it's expensive.
Yeah.
And you just, I don't know who people will, when we are frustrated, the next question we ask ourselves is, who did we offend? But we did not offend anyone.
Thank God you didn't ask the question,
no.
How did we get here? I would have told you by road.
I think we are here by choice.
By choice?
Yes, we've kept on making choices that are not
wrong choices.
Yes, they are not geared towards development. Choices that are not geared towards growth. Choices that are not geared towards the interest of the populace.
But let me tell. Sorry, I'm sorry. Let me tell you a little story here. A late friend of ours talked about a visiting German, and the German said he wanted to see a bit of Lagos, and they went on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. They got to Okobaba, and the man saw this smoke billowing into the sky, and he thought he should take photographs, but asked the doctor friend, what are they burning? The man said sawdust, and the German almost collapsed, BC. Said, you are burning great raw material. Do you know chewing gum where would they take now from sawdust? Do you know cigarette lighters from sawdust and all that? Cigarette butts and all that.
You know,
all of these things by choice.
Exactly. We choose to do wrongly, and sometimes we choose not to do. It just reminds me of a Yoruba proverb that says, the child of a meat monger that feeds on bones.
Yeah.
We have everything. We have all the...
what do you for chop?
It's supposed to be eating sumptuous, delicious meat. You understand? We have everything. We just wasting away. Nigeria is just wasting away.
Are some people thinking?
I don't know. I don't know what. I think some of our leaders live in the alternate universe. They think. Sometimes when they roll out the things they have done, those things make no meaning to the common man who just wants to. He wants to get gas.
Paul, let me interrupt you a little. Garba is reaching us from Makurdi. Brother Garba, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Of course.
Oh, you are?
Citizen. Yes.
Okay.
Because we are finding it very difficult over here in Makurdi.
Wow.
We are buying liter of PMS at the rate of 400 naira and 300 naira and 350 naira.
But you are happy doing it.
I'm telling you, we are finding it very difficult. It's not easy. We are getting it at the rate of 400 naira, 360 naira. Honestly, I'm saying it. Last week, Sunday, my neighbors cannot go to church because of this. I'm calling on the government. They should not carry their incompetency and put it on the citizens of the country. It's very pathetic. Very soon, Christian brothers will celebrate Easter. Very soon, Muslims will start Ramadan. Inflation in the highest heat. They should consider us, please.
Okay.
Nigerians are very resilient. They should not push out to the wall.
Yeah. Thank you, Brother Garba. Thank you very kindly. BC, but you've heard that.
Yeah.
Voices from around the states.
So
400.
which means that even those of us in Lagos still buying for 200, we are even still, and look at the living condition of Nigerians at this time. Is this the time for people to go through this extra suffering?
More than that, is this the time for Nigerians without scruples to exploit Nigerians who are already
on the floor? Yeah, because that is another way of looking at it. As I was coming,
and you people are supposed to be religious people.
Well, you know, we carry religion on our head, but I don't even think we understand what religion is all about.
Yeah.
We want to be hypocritical. We love to be seen as being religious. When we pray, we want everybody to know we are praying. When we go to church or mosque, we want to carry it on our head. And I just wonder that even in countries where they don't carry religion on their heads, they love their people. And that love is...
I hear say, many Oyinbo countries...
They don't go to church.
Maybe you don't hear this. Say, churches, they
close
give
down
incentives.
Exactly.
Yes, so in fact,
people to come.
You should let us ask, what are they even preaching in the churches now? What were they preaching before? What are they preaching now? Our God is not a poor God.
Don't let us even
don't
let us even go to what they are preaching. What are they exhibiting as whether Christians or Muslims? Do we love ourselves? I think that is the paramount, the foundation of our problem. We don't love ourselves. And where there is no love, there cannot be empathy.
And you know, the governor of my state, like the governor of your state and his state, are sworn in either by the Bible or the Quran.
Yes, because they just use
and
that for that occasion is when they need it. They just need to use something.
Yeah.
And because they want to also be hypocritical, they don't want to use Shango or Ogun to even
so they fear those ones.
They fear those ones. Probably
I still insist that it has to do with what people are preaching, because the religious institutions are supposed to shape people.
Yeah.
You know,
mold
people. Yes.
Yeah.
Value system. The values have changed. Even in everybody is after money. Nobody wants to go through the process. You understand? Everybody wants to make money. Today, I can tell you something. If you are earning 150,000 and suddenly you buy maybe an SUV for your pastor, he won't ask you why. He won't ask where you got the money. Even if you stole to get the money, you say, praise the Lord, brother, hallelujah. You know, that's what you have in. Honest, I'm a Christian, but we have to say the truth. I say some of these things on Facebook and people get angry.
Okay,
you know?
Stop doing it, because
no, I won't because it's annoying.
They won't stop getting angry.
We are very religious, but we have little righteousness.
All right, Ekene from Nnewi has joined us. He may be religious, but not over-religious. Ekene, good evening to you.
Good evening to you all in the studio.
Yeah, welcome.
Journalists Hangout, good evening. You are doing a very wonderful and great job.
Thank you.
Go on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just like what you are saying, that the government, the government have provided how many million liters of water whatsoever. It's not something to celebrate about at all, because we Nigerians are really suffering. We are really, really suffering. Okay, I purchased a fuel 240 naira in Anambra State, because I based in Anambra State in Mewi. I purchased 240 naira. It's not something.
Well,
Anambra
State is the state of billionaires, so you people have money.
Not even buying the fuel of 240 naira a liter, but the problem, even the liters, the machines that they are using, it's not up to a liter. It's not up to a liter. Sometimes it's so painful that you also buy fuel, suffer and buy it in a very costly price, and the liter is not complete. So it's a very painful situation. Let the federal government do something about it.
Ekene, thank you very kindly. Madam, but Ekene, before you go, in 7 days, you are going to have a brand new governor, so things will change for you. Abi Paul.
Well, is the governor the NNPC?
Okay, I've not said so.
The governor is not an NPC.
Madam, so, you know, 1.9 billion liters. Mine is, after 32 days, what happens?
No, I guess there would have been other ship on the seas.
Okay.
I guess this is just to balance the down thing.
The shortfall.
Yes, the shortfall from the.
But are you enamored when you are told? Are you enamored in any way when you are told that Dangote's refinery will come and put petrol all the subsidy wahala we've been having? Are you happy?
Well, let the time come.
Okay.
Let the time
when
come.
we get to that bridge.
When we get to that bridge, we will cross it. It will be fine. It will be fine. But it's just unfortunate as we put all our hopes on one person.
Exactly.
It's just unfortunate. Okay, if Dangote, if you can imagine if Dangote is the government, because everywhere when we have problems, we keep on looking at an individual. We are looking at Dangote to help us. If Dangote can do that, why can't a country get its acts right?
Again, if you ask me, Paul, I go ask.
I don't know.
Paul, you see, I'm told by a cynic that the best form of hope is expecting something from nothing.
Exactly.
So, in 32 days, petrol wahala would have been over. At least let the minister of state, let's believe him for once.
Well,
let's believe
him. Hope is not a method. Is there a strategy in place? Let's hope that there is a strategy in place to, continue to supply fuel after the 32 days. But Nigeria,
they should also monitor stations also and ensure compliance with the.
Have you been able to punish bad behavior?
I was at a station. Civil defense operatives came to monitor things. And they were not selling at the normal price. I don't know whether they were settled. I don't know what they discussed, and they left.
Please, make we go to our next story.
Okay.
Please, all right. Hope is a good breakfast, not a good dinner. Okay, then. One cursory look at the intractable disagreement between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, is that you think trade unions and collective bargaining are forbidden and may be lost. And so anyone who had hoped for a quick end to the ASUU strike must think again. The federal government on Wednesday disclosed that the alternative payment platform recommended by the university teachers for paying their emoluments has failed the integrity test. Recall that ASUU had flatly rejected the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS. And so for ASUU, the way to go is the University Transparency and Accountability Solution, UTAS. Bisiso, who is saying what?
Well, I think this is just another level of complication in the old FG ASUU palaver. The UTAS was a major issue in the last negotiation round. And of course, government didn't promise to use it. It said it would subject it to integrity test. Now that it has come out to tell us that it has failed its own integrity test, it means that government is not going to use it. right? And ASUU has always insisted on UTAS, claiming that the IPPIS of government is also not reliable. And they have also come up with different kinds of examples to show that some of their members were not paid.
As and when due?
No,
using the IPPIS.
the actual money they ought to have been paid using the IPPIS. And that it had its own problems, the IPPIS. So, which means that the lecturers are on one side, government is on another side. So how do we get to a medium point?
A common ground.
A common ground, yes, where the two of them, I don't see that happening. Because for almost 1 year, they spoke about this UTAS and IPPIS and nothing happened. And now the government has even come out to say it is not going to use UTAS. It means that this level of the strike has taken another dimension. Before, we were talking about the agreement, and government has also come out to say that that agreement has to be renegotiated, which ASUU is saying that it is not ready to do.
And the committee is already in place?
In place, which we spent 6 weeks, which means that the 1 month notice that ASUU gave us is definitely not going to work. But you see, I've always said it, the ASUU FG strike is likely to continue. The problem here is the problem of funding. Is the problem of funding.
On the one hand, and
funding university education is not cheap. The federal government, every one of us that has gone to university in Nigeria, we should be thanking the federal government of Nigeria for sponsoring our education. We attended tuition fee university. It is not easy, but this government cannot continue with it. And the earlier we got to know that, the better it's going to be for all of us. We can't continue to run a free university education system, because if we continue, we will be having funding gaps. And if people are paying, you cannot be talking of UTAS or IPPIS, because in private universities, you don't use IPPIS, you don't use UTAS, you pay your lecturers as they should be paid. Let me tell you, I don't know if many Nigerians are aware that if you have a PhD in this country and you work in a university as a senior lecturer, your salary, your take-home pay is just 150,000 naira. And do you know what it means to be?
To your university
no, that is what they pay in Nigerian universities. That is the problem. We have a lot of problems. But you see, when you talk like this, people will tell you that you went to university, you did not pay, and now do you want people to be paying?
You know,
and all of that.
I remember when there was a strike many years ago, feeding wahala at Unilag, 50 kobo per meal, and a little something happened and a strike came. But away from that, don't you think the current imbroglio tells you either both parties are wrong or somebody is not being open here?
I think there is a trust issue here. Now, let me just, I have a slightly different view from us. Now, actually, it is true that Nigerian education is, government is heavily subscribed by the government. But if we had a very good system where students can access loans, student loans, and all of those things, we will not be talking about.
But sorry, Paul. And madam, there used to be the Students' Loans Board.
Yes, exactly. So what happened to all of that? Now, going to UTAS and a federal government has not said that it is rejecting UTAS completely. It says that it has failed integrity test. So what are the areas of weakness? ASUU is supposed to go and review it. But I do not like what the ASUU president said. I found it very, very petty. Now, he said, in his own opinion, he said the UTAS made 85%. That's his opinion. That's not even where I'm going. He said that it was sent to the Minister of Communications and then sent to NITDA. And he said something that man, the Minister of Communication, decided to punish ASUU for disagreeing with his controversial professorship. And I'm saying, no, this is very petty. It's petty, it's risible. How can, for example, is it vendetta now? You mean the Minister of Communications will just want to get back at us? What about the students? We do not think about the students that are out of school. You understand? Please, if truly there are good reasons why government says that UTAS is weak, go back and review it. Go back and review it. Simple.
But factor this into the mix. So many teachers, university teachers, are teaching at private universities, and government thinks that is not being straightforward. If you understand what I mean.
No,
if you teach at, say, Unilag,
okay,
you leave Unilag, and this is happening.
Well,
to teach at private universities.
That is not a factor as far as I'm concerned, because if I'm working somewhere and I can do something.
You're talking about trust issues.
Yes,
trust
yes.
issues.
No, what I'm trying to say is that, is there a policy of government that says a lecturer can't teach elsewhere? See, if...
No. If you teach at a particular school, BC, help us, if you teach at a particular school, drawing a salary from there,
okay,
should you teach at another school?
I'm not aware of a policy of government that says you can't teach at another school, so long it's not affecting...
For a fee.
Well, why not? What if... Okay, does it mean that if I'm working with government, I cannot do a business on the side? If I'm employed by government, I can't do a business on the side? I can. But that's not the issue. The issue is you have employed me. I'm a lecturer. I'm a worker within the system. Improve my welfare. End of story.
Wait, madam, are you quarreling with IPPIS?
No, I'm not quarreling with IPPIS.
Are you quarreling with UTAS?
I am not quarreling with UTAS. But what I am quarreling with is a system that does not give lecturers or pay lecturers the kind of money, commensurable salary that will make them to be effective and that will make them to work.
And to think that, I'm keeping Akitoye at Ayobo waiting. Brother Akitoye, are you there? Good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
Good evening, Journalists Hangout.
Good evening.
Yes. Please, I want to contribute to this federal government ASUU face-up.
Go on.
Yes. Please, let us call a spade a spade. It is enough, all this blame government, IPPIS, IPP something. Let me tell you, as an accountant, the IPPIS works for so many organizations and many ministries and many parastatals. What is wrong with ASUU, if not because of fraudulent practices? Personnel cost is personnel cost. Hello?
Yeah, you're on. You're on.
Personnel cost is personnel cost. All other costs are recurrent costs, other expenditures. They can be classified separately, not molded up with their salaries. That is what the federal government is saying. Your own salary, personnel cost is your salary. Let us know how much they are paying you. Don't mix it up with any invitation from any country or other visitors. No, they are separate costs which can be classified separately. But your own personnel cost is your personnel cost.
All right.
Let us know what it is.
Brother Akitoye, thank you very kindly for your intervention. Madam, we must go. You are not quarreling with IPPIS. No. Neither are you. You have trouble with UTAS.
I have trouble with IPPIS for the universities.
Okay.
Because IPPIS does not guarantee university autonomy, does not guarantee freedom, certain level of freedom. Professors don't retire at the same time regular civil servants retire. So those are some of the issues that the university lecturers brought up.
IPPIS stops that?
Yes, you know, IPPIS brings you under the civil service. It cripples the autonomy of the...
If you teach at a federal government school, you are a civil servant.
I agree, absolutely. But you know, university is another word with its own peculiarities.
Okay.
That's what they are saying. So I don't have a problem with UTAS. What they should just do, and government agreed to UTAS in principle.
Yeah.
Okay, and they are told them that they will subject to integrity test.
Yeah.
Now that it has failed, go and review it. You know, it's as simple as that.
BC, my trouble is living in a country where a counselor earns a lot more than a professor.
People won't know, but my professor, I just completed my PhD. My professor showed me his pay slip. He's been a professor for 25 years.
Wow.
And his salary was just like 500,000 naira.
The reward of teachers.
And he was a professor for 25 years.
Oh, hold
nice on it.
And so you can just imagine.
You want to have it nice on Okay, we must go. Let me thank BC Deji-Folutile for coming. Thank you very kindly. And Paul Dada, many thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
That will just about do it for the show for today. If you missed this particular edition, join us at 11 for a late edition. And on Sunday, there's a fresh new, a totally new 2-hour package for you from 1:30. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Usen. Bye-bye now.